With the NBA season officially resuming this week, people are getting more and more excited in anticipation of what will happen, how will the season finish, things like that. There's talk about what kind of storylines to look out for, debate on things like who will get the 8th seed in the West, and how teams will do with shorter rosters. But there are some things with huge question marks. What is up with it, everybody? My name is Luke, and in this video I'm going to make 5 bold predictions for the NBA season restart. These may be based on things like what happened during the season or just my instincts, so feel free to make fun of me when I'm wrong. Number 5. Portland will get the 8th seed. Most people will say that the 8th seed will go to either the Pelicans because of how easy their schedule is, or the Grizzlies because they're already in the playoffs at the moment. But I'm going to go ahead with a hot take and say that the Blazers will get it. If Dame is able to continue his hot play from before, I think they'll be able to do well. Plus, Zach Collins and Yusuf Nurkic should be able to play, and that in itself will improve the team by a good amount in my opinion, as they pretty much went the whole season so far without either of those guys. Now, I don't think that the Blazers will surpass Grizzlies in the final standings necessarily, but I do think that they'll get close enough to force the exhibition matches for the final seed, and I think they have a great chance to come out on top for that one. Number 4. The Sixers will make the Eastern Conference Finals. Philadelphia has been a mess all season long, no doubt about it. But in terms of pure talent, I still think they're the second best team in the East, even though their record says otherwise. There's a reason why people thought they'd be the second seed in the East prior to the season, because on paper, their team should be a top 5 to 6 title contender. I do think that Simmons moving to power forward will be a good change, as it should help their forward spacing more. Besides, they do have the second best player in the East in my opinion, in Joel Embiid, and Simmons is obviously very, very good himself too. That alone should give them an advantage over most of the other teams in the East. This postseason is also one where the 76ers have a lot to prove, as I do think that if this run goes poorly, they're going to trade one of either Simmons or Embiid. So knowing this, the team will be able to play better during the postseason, or at least they should. Number 3. The Rockets will upset one of the LA teams in the playoffs. If you guys remember, Austin Rivers said that the Rockets are a top 3 to 4 contender for the title. And to be honest, I don't think this is a hot take at all. I'm actually quite high on the Pocket Rockets, as a friend likes to call them. This season, they've shown that they can definitely be a force to be reckoned with. And honestly, I do think that Houston will have to go all in this time around. Their championship window is closing soon, and Westbrook isn't getting any younger. During the regular season, the Rockets have had an even record with both of the LA teams. Yes, I know that regular season games aren't really indicative of how good the team really is, and yes, 6 games is a small sample size, but ever since trading Capella, they went 10-2 and were 4th in the league in point differential. Westbrook played out of his mind during the stretch, and Harden was very much less than his normal self. So I think that you cannot sleep on this Rockets team, and they will do some damage in the playoffs. Number 2. Zion will lead the league in field goal percentage for this 8-game stretch. Zion's long-awaited debut was one of the most intriguing storylines of the season. Needless to say, he showed us why he was so hyped up after his single college season at Duke. Over a 19-game sample, he averaged 24 points and 7 rebounds a game, while shooting an effective field goal percentage of around 60%. Given how easy the Pelicans' remaining schedule is, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Zion will lead the league in field goal percentage for these last 8 games. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to have separate stats or anything like that for the restart pre-playoffs, but if they do, I will say that he's going to be the leader in that category. After all, around 77% of his shot attempts come at the rim, and he does shoot a 68% clip there. Thus, I'd say that this feat is definitely doable, 100%. And number 1, the NBA season will get cancelled again. I was hesitant about making this prediction because I think I'd get some heat for it, and I 100% hope that this one is wrong anyway. But this mostly has to do with the fact that I don't have that much faith in these NBA players in terms of making smart decisions, and the coronavirus is pretty erratic in terms of number of cases and how it spreads. Let's face it, athletes are not exactly the brightest people out there, and I can totally see these guys doing something super idiotic that will get them Rona. And worst case scenario, this goes on to affect everybody. And like I said before, I definitely hope that this does not happen. as they want NBA basketball as much as the next guy. But it's just, I don't really have that much faith in these guys, so I don't trust the NBA players to make all the right decisions this whole time. Anyway, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let me know your thoughts on these predictions, and as mentioned before, when I'm wrong, come back to the comments to mock me. And with that, I'm out. See you guys next time.